I want to make this video about my father's Ford Mustang 65, and I want to talk to you about how you can actually buy a car like this and make very good money, because these are amazing investment cars. And what you can see here is that we have a red color, which is desirable, but we can make it even more desirable. And I'm gonna talk to you about what you can do to actually make money of this car. I'm gonna tell you how it drives, but it's very bad weather, so I'm just gonna show you the engine, and I'm gonna show you the interior, and then I'm gonna go inside and we can talk about it, okay? And these are amazing investment cars, and I'm gonna show you the engine, which is you pop the hood here, and this is a V8 289 automatic, and as you guys can see, it runs okay. And this is a very good investment car, but as I tell you, the weather is very bad, so I'm just gonna close it up. But what we have here is a V8, a small block, and this is good for investment purposes because they're not so expensive. And the interior, we have leather seats, we have a steering wheel which is very light, which is a good part and a bad part. I'm going to talk about it later. And we have an automatic gearbox, and we have full leather interior with the blue carpets, and which is not a good combination we want, because you want to have everything one color. But I'm going to show you real quick. This is what it looks like from the inside. We have an old horn, which this is not the original horn. This is a horn that we put on, which is very old. It sounds very fun. And as you guys can see, we have the Mustang logo. We have this car doesn't have power steering, but it's very, very light, which I am gonna talk about. And this is it actually, guys. We have full leather, and the car is very nice. I just want to show you some quick things about this car. We have the wipers here, which is the windshield wipers, and we have the lights here, which is the lights at the front, as you guys can see there. And we have an old radio, which it's not worth much, this radio, but it's fun to have. And here we have the climate control buttons here, so this is activating the climate control, and the heater is here. And also we put up a phone holder, which is you should not do as my father did here, which is drilling at the interior. This is not good, guys. This is something, if you want to have your phone, you should just buy a holder. Don't drill like my father did here. So that's just it. And we have a compartment room here. We have roll down windows at the rear, we have at the front. This is an old car, but it's truly amazing driving feeling. And that's it. It's very simple. We have down here, as you guys can see here, we have a high beam light. So this is just when you want to flash. If you want the high beam lights, you just press here, and if you want to turn it off, then I think it's somewhere around here. I'm not sure, but it works. No, everything works on this. It's just that because, okay, so let me show you. So this is the lights, you turn it on, and this is the high beam lights. So as you guys can see here, you just use your foot here for the high beam lights, which is awesome, man. This is awesome. And this is how you can, so as you guys can see here, this is the high beam lights now. It's on, it's off. And the signals here, we have a turn signal. They both work, I don't know. So no matter if you press left or right, you will get the turn signal with the green. So you have to know which way you are signaling. And this is a very nice car. It's a very good investment, and I'm gonna talk about that now, so see you guys inside. from the top. It's a very nice car, and see you guys inside. We're gonna go in to the house, put up a fire, and then we talk about it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been some years which I haven't done videos, and before I talk about the Mustang, I just want to give you guys an update, because the videos I made, some of the videos especially about the Toyota, it got many views and many comments, and I haven't been active. And it's just because that in life sometimes you go through some things, and it's important that you follow your passions and you take care of your mental health. And what happened to me is that since I made the last video, I bought a house and I renovated this place, so it's very amazing. And I've been driving at my job because I'm a driver, so I've been driving a lot. But I want to make videos now because I want to follow my passions, and I really like cars. And this video is more for you because this is my father's car. We're not gonna do much about it. My father, he bought it. I want to paint it myself. I want to do so many things, but he doesn't give me permission. He just wants to keep it, maybe sell it, I don't know. But I want to talk to you guys about investment, why this is a good investment. And I'm not gonna drive the car because it's very bad weather, and I want to tell you how it is to actually drive the car. The car drives really good, but you should expect, which is the first thing, you should expect to spend at least $5,000 on engine maintenance. And because the car is very old, it's from '65, but it's a very good investment if you buy them cheap. So if you see one with the chassis for like $5,000, like for one car, or even $10,000, it's a good investment. So the car right now, we bought it for like $15,000. They are about the double of that on the marketplace. And today I'm going to talk about what you can do to actually improve the car to get money out of it. It's a very good investment car, okay? But there are some things that I think is funny, because when you buy these cars and you try to sell them, they need to be perfect. You cannot sell the car if it's not perfect. So you're gonna spend money on. So it's okay to buy a old one and paint it. And I made after I finish this video, I'm going to make like a paper, like a picture for you guys, which you can watch. So the first thing is the color. When you want to sell these cars as an investment, it needs to be those wow colors. And what I mean by this is that if you look at the Mustang now, it's red, but it's kind of a boring red, okay? So if you want to buy these cars, you should definitely paint them one of these colors, which I'm going to show you now, which is like crazy yellow, like a screaming yellow, screaming red, or a screaming light blue, which is like the classic colors of these cars, which is going to be like wow when you see them. This car, it doesn't have the wow effect. So which makes the value go very high is if you can find a good painter, pay him what he wants, and to just get an amazing paint job, which is going to be like wow. My friend, he has an E30 Cabriolet convertible, and it has that wow red color, like that screaming red color. And this is going to make the car stand out on the marketplace, and you can get up to like $30,000, close to $30,000 if you really put that paint job, okay? You can really make money if you buy one very cheap and get a paint job done, and buy an engine. The engine is usually in it, so but you can find engines as well. We're gonna talk about engines. So what you can do is that you also have two other options, which is the first is the automatic, and the second one is the manual gearbox. And if you go to marketplaces like CJ Pony Parts, you can find gearboxes, completely gearboxes. So you can find, this is also something very amazing, you can find anything to these cars. And when you want to invest, you want to make the car look desirable, so you should spend money on brake upgrades, like wheel wood brake upgrades, 5-speed automatic gearbox for 5-speed manual gearbox. You can buy all of these parts on marketplace, especially in America. If I was going to buy one, I would buy one for very cheap, like chassis, and then just buy parts, build up a Mustang. You can make so the one thing is those colors. Make sure you choose one of those colors which is going to be like wow when people see it. This is how you can maximize the profits on a Mustang. And even like if you just get it done, get the car done and running, and you keep it for 5 years, 3 years, even 1 year, 2 years, you can sell it and make good profit. But the car needs to be perfect, okay guys? Number 2, you should spend money on the engine and gearbox. So spend money on the engine. You can even get what we call a higher compression, which is like Marley pistons. There's a guy here on YouTube, he makes some good videos about it. I will post his name. He makes very good videos about how you can get the engine sound like this, like a crispy sound, like that's because the pistons are getting bigger in the length, so it will have more like a crazy sound. Like the car here, it doesn't have it does have a good sound, but you can even make it crazier, like having those upgraded pistons, which will make the compression, which will change the compression, and it will be like this sound. Like you can hear it, like it just sounds beautiful, especially when it's just idling, like you can just hear the pistons. It's so beautiful sound. So you should definitely spend at least $5,000 on engine parts and getting a gearbox, whether it's an automatic 5-speed or a manual 5-speed. I personally like manual 5-speed. It gives a crazy experience. This car is very slow because it's a 3-speed automatic, and it doesn't work so good because it's very old. So when I press the throttle, it doesn't pull back because the gearbox, it's not working so well. It is driving, but it's very boring. And you should spend money on brake upgrade and a set of rims, which is going to make the car look so amazing, like that little bit of that Fast and Furious look. So that's definitely also a crazy upgrade you can do to get the car most value out of the car. So brakes, engine, paint job and rims, and you just have a very good investment. Personally, I would, if I had like the workshop, I would do it myself. So this is also something I want to mention. Buy a lift, like lift the car up, or dig a ground where you can stand under the ground and work on the car. So this is something very great if you want to maximize the investment of this car. And to own one, it's also going to be the same thing. If you don't upgrade the engine, you're not going to enjoy it. If you don't upgrade the brakes, you're not going to enjoy it. And when I showed you about the steering, it's very light. This is also a bad thing if you want to drive fast, because the car is like doing like this. So you should also upgrade the steering wheel, like the rack itself. All of these things you can buy parts. Like you can buy so many parts for this car, original or aftermarket. Like I mentioned before, CJ Pony Parts. It's one of the leading companies when it comes to upgrading parts. Willwood brakes and a nice set of rims, and that fresh paint job, steering wheel upgrade. You can even make a roll cage inside the car, which is going to look good. But I'm just gonna tell you that there's like the paint job is one of the most crucial things, and the engine. So get a wow paint job, like not that color out there. Get a color which is more screaming, like screaming yellow, screaming blue. So yeah. And is there another thing I want to mention? When you buy the car, let's say you want to build your own car, make sure that the car is legally registered in your city or country. Make sure you have papers. Because in Denmark, where I live, you have to, if the car does not have a tax, usually you have to pay the tax. But usually, when guys sell their cars, they always write the car has papers. So let's say you live in California, so you need to have the papers for California because every state is different in America. So just make sure you have the papers, man, and have a workshop where you can do things by yourself. Because if you're going to pay everyone, you're gonna spend a lot of money. But the paint job you should pay definitely. And if you're going to upgrade the engine, if you cannot do it yourself. But the paint job is something you should not be cheap. You should spend money on a paint job, okay? And the reason I don't want to drive the car is because this car is not like the most desirable car when it comes to driving, because the automatic speed is not working so well. And also another thing is that I've driven this car a few times. It's very fun, but because when you put the pedal down and the automatic gearbox is not working correctly, because it's very old, this is the original engine that's in it, I don't get the response I want. I can fix it, but I rather spend money on a new gearbox, like a manual gearbox, for example. And that's it, guys. Actually, if you have some questions, it's a V8. Another thing is that it makes a lot of smoke, and my father told me that I should not drive it because he's afraid something's gonna go wrong, and he ordered some parts, so I just respect that. But it's a good investment car. And 1 second, guys. So yeah, you can screenshot this picture that I make. Make sure that you buy it as cheap as possible, and go get a paint job, go get the engine upgrade, whether you like an automatic gearbox or a manual gearbox. You need to have the car, like when you're putting down the pedal, it needs to go. And that's because when it doesn't do that, it means that the engine is failing. This one is not failing on the engine, but it's more on the gearbox. So make sure you spend some money on it. And if you have some comments, just let me know. This is an old car, but it's a very, very good investment. And I don't want to make this video any longer, but try to get that wow effect on the paint job, especially, okay? You can buy a car which is old, and this is another thing. If you want to have a good investment on the Mustangs, you should not buy this button, but the one which is called the Fastback. The Fastback is like a 1965 to 73. The Fastback model is a picture here. You can see the comparison that I put right now here, that it's the back. So when the back is like this and not square, so the Fastback ones, the rear is going down on a round shape, which is more valuable, like it doubles the car's price. So make sure, it's called a Coyote actually. Mustang Fastback Coyote, they call them Coyotes. And they are double as worth, more than double as worth as this type of car, which is the standard two-door, like the classic two-door. And then there's the Coyote Fastback, they call them Fastback. Okay, so check this I put a comparison here. If you can find a fastback, buy a fastback. It's gonna be worth double the price, okay? So I hope you learned something, and if you learned something, I know you learned something, hit that like button, subscribe button, so I can, because I want to make more videos if you guys like my content. So guys, make sure if you find a fastback, go for a fastback and spend money on a fresh paint job, like a wow paint job. Whatever color you like from these ones I put here. You can also choose your own color, like a purple or cream color, but you need to have that wow effect. So if you go down to a paint job, you can ask him like, what's the wow colors? Okay guys, but the colors I showed, they have like a wow effect, and that's the classic ones. When you go for Facebook Marketplace, you can see that the cars that have these colors, they just go up in value, especially if it's a fastback, okay? And another thing about the fastback, if you're going to paint them, you can get these stripes, like those 2 stripes on the car, white lines typically, or black with orange lines. I put the pictures here. You can do whatever you want, but especially a Mustang Fastback Coyote, it's the one which is worth double than the car outside. And if you can find one of those and you get a nice paint job, especially with those stripes. You find a 350 engine, it doesn't really matter if it's not the original engine, but the chassis itself is worth a lot. But the original ones is the 350 engine. If you can find one of those, you have a very good investment. Okay guys, so that's it. I'm not gonna make this video longer. It's already been almost 20 minutes. See you guys.